Hello, my name is Brianna. While I will not be working in my practicum site until next month for Tanaganita in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, I'm going to do my very best to give you a brief rundown about the work that this NGO does in reference to some related evidence-based practices that I've researched. Tanaganita works with a broad span of human rights issues. This includes addressing exploitation, discrimination, and unequal treatment against women, as well as working with single mothers, domestic workers, and people living with HIV and AIDS. Further, Tanaganita does advocacy for human trafficking issues related to migrants and refugees, and business accountability in the area of sustainable palm oil. From what I've seen, Tanaganita does a lot of advocacy for these populations on the macro level. However, another service that Tanaganita offers in the legal sphere is this agency administers free legal advice, representation, and or other assistance to migrant workers who have come to Malaysia legally. While researching evidence-based practices pertaining to the populations Tanaganita advocates for, I was directed to a TED Talk by Melissa Fleming, the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, aka the UNHCR. In her 2014 TED Talk, How to Help Refugees Rebuild Their World, she pointed out that a vast majority of refugee children are not in educational programs. Keep in mind that as of 2014, there was approximately 60 million or more displaced people around the world. This is more refugees ever known to history since even World War II. Access to education and growth opportunities are crucial for refugees, however, because it gives them the opportunity to look ahead past their trauma and destruction of their lives and potentially use their new knowledge towards being able to rebuild off the destruction left behind in their home country if they get the opportunity to return, or if not, to be productive citizens in whatever new country that they decide to live in. Fleming's TED Talk then led me to discover the UNHCR's paper, Beyond Detention, a Global Strategy to Support Governments to End the Detention of Asylum Seekers and Refugees. A mouthful of a title, but it's very crucial to what it talks about. Many countries around the world who are willing to take in refugees, usually begrudgingly, and fearfully, as we've seen firsthand in Hamilton, Montana lately, will default to a strategy of containment. This has been proven to be particularly corrosive for refugee children and adults alike, but even if these children are kept with their families, they feel there's a lot of developmental concerns in the areas of emotional, physical, and psychological levels of development. Beyond Detention, the article that I read, essentially denotes that the UNHCR's plan for the global level of influence is to influence states to create better refugee treatment policies. It is designed to be adaptable basically across multiple different spheres and states, whether that be cultural or political differences, which I found to be exceptionally important, as I'll be working in a country whose political and cultural environment is very different from where I grew up in the United States. Given it is a lot to go over from that one article, I will summarize it significantly. First, one should start by assessing and diagnosing the problem at the state or local level. Basically, who is doing what, why, and how they're doing it. Second, create advocacy interventions for change and to engage in awareness raising and campaigning. This is just to kind of get the word out that there is a problem to begin with. Next, you need to secure access to and monitor places that utilize whatever that issue is that you're facing. In the article's case, it was you be able to have access to these containment centers. Then begin providing and strengthening trainings in the areas of technological knowledge, cooperation, capacity building for all stakeholders involved. While doing this, one must also seek support by strengthening relationships with other related organizations and promote access to beneficial knowledge and information. Nearing the end of this process, it's crucial to put together a means of monitoring and evaluating the stages of change to assess if the training and advocacy that you're doing for the social policy change is truly working. Part of the work that I will be participating in while at Tanaganita is closely tied to what is enumerated in the UNHCR Social Advocacy Plan. I will be participating in the development of materials such as training manuals, toolkits, presentations, reports, the like, pertaining to the cultural issues being worked on in the office. And further, I may be assisting in organizing events such as conferences and workshop forums, training sessions, etc. As a social work practitioner, I can use this evidence-based practice noted in the UNHCR's plan as a means of cross-cultural connections. It strongly emphasizes the need to look beyond oneself and at the greater picture, as well as make meaningful relationships and alliances in order to instigate changes of policy at the macro level. All right, thanks for listening.